Hi guys, it's Jackie. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to run through a low back series that I find helpful when my low back starts to get a little stiff or tight, which it has been this week. So I thought I would share it with you guys. It's good to do as needed, or you can, take some of these poses and add it into your daily routine, which I find helpful as well. I will recommend a couple blankets and at least a strap or a towel today for some stretching. If you have a chair nearby, I'm going to show you how you can use that at the very end when we do some relaxation. And always blocks are handy just in case as well. So if you want to grab those and join us when you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start again with our hips or our bum up on top of a couple blankets, again, just to help relax the low back a little bit, let the hips relax. Let the knees fall down towards the floor. Find a comfortable seat here, whether that means your ankles are kind of crossed close to your body, or you can kind of gently bring them farther apart as needed. Also, if it helps with your low back, you can have a couple blocks resting under the thighs to help support the back. Okay? So we're just going to start with some awareness, some breathing. So go ahead and find your easy sitting posture. Our eyes close or our gaze falls down towards the floor. We pay attention to our posture and the best that we can, gently growing taller. And noticing how that may feel today. Starting to bring our awareness towards the breath, finding our anchor as we breathe in and as we breathe out. A lot of times when we're in pain or having some discomfort, it's helpful to find the breath any way you can to help anchor yourself, ground yourself. And sometimes focusing the attention on the breath will help with the pain management in the body. So first, just noticing the breath and what you're feeling when you're breathing. As you inhale, is anything tightening, gripping, any tension? As you exhale, what can you relax? Inhaling, noticing what's going on. Exhaling, trying to let go. Whether that's the shoulders, whether that's the knees, relaxing back. Maybe we're fine-tuning our posture if we're over-gripping in certain areas. And slowly start to deepen the breath. Slowly extending the inhale, trying not to build tension, and then relaxing with control on the exhale. Letting go on the exhale, softening either around the low back, or if that's too intense, maybe we start to soften in an area farther away, like the shoulders or the legs, the feet. Try 3 or 4 more rounds. Inhaling, filling up, expanding the ribs. Exhaling, softening the body where you can, especially around the low back if it feels okay to do so. Clearing the mind, letting go of any judgments or how we might be feeling, if we're anxious or worried about how practice may go, just trying to let yourself know it's okay no matter how we do, as long as we are moving and trying to listen to our body, be mindful of our movement. Let the hands slide beside you, fingertips on the floor. As we try to check back in with our posture, letting our breath settle down to its normal rhythm. Maybe set an intention for class today. And as you exhale next, just walk the fingers around your sides to the front of you and start to slowly walk them forward as you let your heart melt down towards the floor. Now, again, only go as far as you feel comfortable. I want you to take an inhale. Open up the back of the lungs. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhaling. Fingertips walk back up. And we're going to switch the cross of our legs. So if you're using the blocks, they can still stay there, but we're just bringing the other foot in front or other shin in front. As you inhale, fingertips back behind you, slightly to your side, growing our chest tall. Exhale, walk them around to in front and slowly fold forward. Inhaling, exhaling, letting go. Inhaling, filling up. Exhaling, relaxing where we can. Inhale, work your way all the way back up to sitting. Hands on the knees. Inhale, grow up tall, lift the chest, slight arch in the back. Exhale, round everything out, let the head drop. Cat-cow, just sitting here. I want you to start feeling the body as you inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, slowly round out. Noticing how much movement we have in the back right now, especially the low back. What are you feeling? What range of motion do you feel you have as we start class today? One more full round. Back. And good. Back to your neutral position from here. If you do have your blocks, you can set them off to the side. We're going to come on to hands and knees. So take your time getting there. If you need that little extra cushion with the blanket, go ahead and have that under your knees or the blocks under your hands for your wrists. From here, we're just going into cat-cow, but in this position. So again, we're going to try to focus it a little bit different though today. We're going to try each segment at a time and try to break it up. So first, I want you to start at the hips. Drop or tip the hips forward down towards the ground. Let the mid back, arch, let the chest fall down towards the ground. And then scoop it up as your head looks right up towards the sky. And then exhale, round out the hips, tuck them back and up. Let the upper back round out, head falls down. So we're always going to be starting at the hips. So hips will point down. Let the belly fall towards the ground, and then chest and head follow. As we exhale, hips fold back, upper back rounds, head drops. Slowly go here at your own pace. Try to go one part at a time. Trying to get each part of the spine moving, but with control and trying not to compensate in other areas. We're able to breathe. We're able to keep tension out of the neck, out of the jaw. 1 or 2 more rounds here. Seeing if I can go a little bit further with each one. We're going to come back to neutral. Make sure we're aligned up here, elbow creases facing forward. We're inhaling. Exhale, look over your right shoulder for your right foot. Breathe into the side. Inhale through middle. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Breathe in. Let it out. Let's try one more each time. Inhale through middle. Exhale off to the right. Inhale through middle. Exhale. And then pause for a breath. Feeling the opening in the side of the body. Inhale middle. From here, let's try to get a little more specific with movement at the hips. So just try little circles here with just the hips, really trying to keep it out of the mid back, which might want to help out when we start to have some low back pain. So we're just trying to get a little more movement around our hips, whatever we can tolerate. And go as slow as you need to, and then reverse. Maybe you can only get 1 or 2 full rounds in, and that's quite all right. One more round here. Good. All right, from here, knees come wide, feet together, child's pose. So we drop those hips back down towards our heels, and arms can reach out in front, or you can have the goalpost arms and drop your head down to the floor. Now, if this is too much on the low back, you can always grab your blanket and put it between or under your knees. It'll prop you up a little bit more, and then you can try coming down. Give me a few breaths here. Inhaling. Exhale, see if you can relax through the low back. Let the hips drop a little bit further towards the heels. Inhaling. Exhale, letting go. 2 more. Inhale, back up. If you have the blanket behind you, go ahead and let it go. Keep your knees a little bit wider here. Bring your hands out in front and shift your hips forward. And see how far you can let your hips drop here. Now, I don't need you to drop your hips all the way down towards the ground because that's going to be a little too hard right now. Even if it's just getting your hips to neutral, that's okay. We're just trying to get some movement in the low back. So we're holding, inhale, and then exhale, drop the hips back for child's pose. We're going to move through this a few times. Inhale, shift forward. Just gently see how the hips fall here with control. And then exhale back to child's pose. Inhale up. Drop the hips, breathe, chest stays strong. Exhale back. Couple more. Inhale, hips drop. Stay strong through the arms. Don't let the shoulders sink up to the ears. And relax back. One more time like this. Inhaling up. And exhale back to tabletop. So I want you to try one other variation of child pose. So where we try to bring the knees a little bit closer towards each other and the feet can fall out to the side or they can stay lined up with the knees. Whatever you feel comfortable, just bring it on back. And you can keep the blanket between the knees, behind the knees if you need it. Arms can stay out in front, or maybe you let the arms fall back behind you for this one. Just letting the upper back round out as well. Inhaling, filling the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. Exhale, let it all go. Wiggle the jaw even. Relax the facial muscles. One more breath. And inhale all the way up. From here, just kind of side sit all the way through. And we're going to come down on our back. So when I'm having some back issues, I like to have my couple of blankets down so I'm not laying all the way flat on the floor because that can put a little more pressure on my low back. So I usually like to prop myself up in our yoga couch here a little bit as we come all the way down. I'm going to have my strap nearby. And we're laying down. Find your comfy position. Knees are going to be bent. Feet are going to be as wide as the mat. We're going to drop our knees off to the right. Might feel a little stretch through the left side, through the left hip. Inhale, exhale off to the left with both knees. Kind of like windshield wipers. We're pausing for one breath. And on your next inhale, we're coming through middle. Exhale, drop them off to the right. Pause for a breath. Inhale through middle and exhale. One more time each way. Inhale, middle. Exhale. Doesn't matter how far the knees go to the ground. You might not go that far if we were having a little more discomfort. Again, we try to honor our body and try to listen to what we can do at this moment, not forcing ourselves to do anything that might feel too much or too painful. So you can bring the knees back in. And from here, go ahead and bring your hands to your low belly, kind of right where your hip bones are. I want to try just a little bit of core work here. And if it's too much to have the blankets up while you do this, you can take one down. So we're going to pull our belly button up and in. Engage the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift your right leg, march your knee up, knee towards your chest, and then slowly down on the exhale. Okay, you might have to reset. Inhale, pull the belly button up and in as you raise your left knee up towards your chest, slowly lower. What my hands are doing here are I'm trying to monitor how much my hips are moving. I'm trying to keep my hips nice and stable as I breathe in on the way up and exhale on the way down. We're slowly moving with control. This one's not about how fast you go, but how much control you can have. It's stabilization. We're honoring the natural curve in our low back, so it's not flat to the ground, but it's also not arched. One more each way. Now you can keep it right here or add in the arms. So we're going to bring the arms straight up to the sky. As you raise your right leg up, the left arm will come back. And then exhale everything back down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale again, being mindful of the hips, of the low back, trying to stay stabilized as we breathe. Our belly button's pulled up and in gently. Good. Last round here. And one last variation. We're going to drop the arms by our side. Reset. Nice big inhale. Exhale. From here, we're going to inhale, straighten the right leg all the way out, hover it over the floor an inch or two, and then pull it back in on the exhale. So inhale, lower, and straighten the left leg, and then exhale, pull it back in. A couple more each way. Inhale and lower. Exhale as you pull back. Switch sides. Inhale and lower. Again, you can have your hands on your hips to monitor the wiggles in the hips. Last round, down, nice and controlled, up and down and up. So either keep there or add in the arms for 3 more. So opposite arm and leg will straighten and then back to the middle. And straighten and back. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Breathing. Engaging our core. Nice and controlled. Very good. Relax those arms. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Let your left leg come straight. Gentle knee stretch, knee to chest stretch. Inhaling. Exhaling. So it's important. Go ahead and switch left knee into the chest, right leg straight. It's important when we are having some low back issues, whether it's acute or chronic, that we honor that first, but it's also we want to try to move and maintain some of our mobility the best that we can so we don't get even more stiff or even more tense. And then when it comes to strengthening exercises, both knees to the chest, please. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe a little rock side to side. Those little stabilization exercises are a great place to start because the low back is protected, it's supported. You hopefully aren't going to overdo it. That comes to self-monitoring, but it's a good place where you are safely working the core muscles, which will thus help support the low back. So it's a good place, and there's many variations to make it harder, and which we'll share as we go along here. So feet all the way to the mat. Here, if you grab your strap or your towel, wrap it around the ball of your right foot. The left knee can stay bent or the left leg can go straight. We're gripping our strap and we're inhaling that foot up towards the sky. And if our knee starts to bend at any point, just pause right where that is and lower a little bit. I'd rather the knee be straight down lower than all the way up here jammed up and you're trying to bend, the knee is really bent up here. I'd rather it be mostly straight, but not all the way up. We're pulling the strap down towards us, gently opening up the back of the leg. Tension out of the shoulders or out of the chest. We're trying to keep the elbows tucked into our side. Exhale as you lower the leg all the way down. Inhale, one more variation. Leg comes up. Find your position, whether that's halfway up or all the way up. And there's going to be a little bend in the knee. It's just I don't want it, really bend. Little bend is fine. Exhale as you drop that foot across midline. So it's going to cross over your body a little bit, not all the way, maybe just 6, 8 inches. You're going to feel it more on the outside of the leg. Breathe. Exhaling, letting go. Back up to middle and slowly down. Go ahead and switch legs. Strap will come around the ball of the left foot. Right leg can be straight, right leg can be bent. We're inhaling, left leg up. Again, one side might be different than the other. Sometimes my left leg is tighter than my right. So again, I'm listening to my body, trying to build that awareness, which takes practice. Sometimes it's trial and error. We're breathing. Sometimes you think you can do it and you're tolerating it well, but you might feel it later. And then you just take that little tidbit of info. Go ahead, exhale, lower the leg down. Take that little info that you've learned and just apply it to the next time you practice. Maybe you back off a little bit. Especially when we're in pain, we don't want to overdo it. Because then that's just kind of feeding that negative loop. Inhale up. Exhale, drape across midline just a few inches. Breathe into it. So each pose we want to say, are we okay? Do we feel safe? Can we tolerate it? Will I be okay later? If you're answering yes to all that, then you're most likely in a good spot. Go ahead and slowly lower, and we can drop that strap off to their side. Here's where I'm going to grab my chair, but you can just have, if you don't have the chair nearby, you can have your knees just bent on the floor or put some pillows or blocks under your knees and let your legs relax over them. But I find when my low back is extra angry, I prop them up on a couch or a chair or a little ottoman, and that really takes some of the pressure off the low back. So take a minute, find your position, settle in, get any last little movements out as we get ready to relax. You can let the knees either fall into each other, or if they're up on the chair, you can let them fall away. Hands can be on the floor or maybe on your belly. Eyes are closing if they aren't already. And we're going to play around with how we started class, focusing on relaxing a little bit farther, seeing what we can let go of around that low back area. So first, just see how we're feeling after class today. Taking note, building that awareness of our body. Congratulating yourselves for making it through, even though maybe some of it was a little difficult. And just starting to subtly relax through the arms, the neck, the shoulders, down through the torso, into the legs, all the way to the feet. Let the jaw relax open, the eyebrows, forehead relax. And try to find somewhere in the body where you can anchor your breath. So ideally, you can start at the low back. If that's too much, maybe it's around the low back, above or below it, the hips or the belly. If that's still too close, travel farther away. Maybe it's the knees, maybe it's the feet, maybe it's the toes or the hands or the fingers. So take a moment to explore. Somewhere again you feel comfortable and safe, and somewhere where you can keep your focus. And then start to breathe into that area. We're deepening the breath as we inhale, letting the belly rise. Exhale, softening that area, wherever it might be. Inhale, big belly breath. Exhale, letting go. If it's too much for you to do by yourself, just imagine someone you trust or a loved one being right there beside you, offering their support. Maybe they're holding the pain for you. Trying to relax with each exhale, giving them some of the pain, letting them help hold whatever you need them to. If you can start to move towards the low back, softening as you go. Try a few more rounds of breathing, doing your best. Not judging yourself of how you're doing. If it's hard or difficult, that's okay. It's going to be. Just bring your awareness back to the breath, softening where you can in the body. And eventually, with practice, we work our way closer and closer, if we're not there yet, to the low back. Being able to sit with the pain in the low back or around the low back and just breathing with it, letting it be there. The more we try to fight it, the harder it's going to be for us. Maybe we do a little bit and then take a break. Maybe we do a couple breaths around the low back, then go back to our foot. Maybe a couple more breaths and back right where we were, into our toes or our hands. You can spend more time with this as needed, but we're going to wrap up in a couple more breaths here. And like I mentioned, keep going if this is feeling good and you're finding some success, or if you need a break, you can follow my lead. But we will end right where we are. So whatever that means to you, we're going to bring the hands over our heart. Take a moment to think of a couple things that you feel grateful for today. Let a smile spread across the lips, across the eyes, across the heart. Give yourself a little bit of love. Think about that intention that you set at the beginning of class. And good job today. Namaste.